Sometimes I catch myself thinking about a different kind of life, one that's far removed from the rush of the modern world. I start to imagine what it might have been like to live in a time long ago, a time when life was simpler in some ways, but also far more difficult in others. A medieval life. It's strange, isn't it? Because we all know that life back then wasn't easy. It wasn't the kind of life where you could wake up, turn on a tap, and get clean water, or scroll through endless entertainment on a screen. Life was hard, and I mean really hard. People didn't have the luxury of comfort or convenience. They worked long hours just to survive, never knowing if the harvest would be good or if the weather would turn. It was a time of uncertainty, of constant struggle, disease, famine, wars. Those were daily fears. And yet, here I am, daydreaming about it. There's something about that medieval life that pulls me in, even though I know it wasn't as idyllic as we sometimes imagine. Maybe it's the simplicity of it all. I think about those little villages, the small communities, and the way people lived so closely with nature. Each day spent working with their hands, building something real. There was no rushing. Life moved at its own pace, dictated by the rise and fall of the sun, the seasons, the rhythm of the earth. I don't think I'd actually want to live in that time. I don't think I'd last a week. But there's something comforting about the idea of it, the connection to something so tangible. When you worked the land, you saw the result of your labor right in front of you. There was no just getting through the day. You were always present, always working, always creating something meaningful with your hands. There's something kind of peaceful about that idea, don't you think? The simplicity of it. Sure, there was hardship, but I think people found a different kind of contentment in the struggle. They didn't have distractions like we do today. It wasn't about rushing to the next thing, always pushing for more. It was about surviving, about being with the people you loved, about doing work that had value, even if it was tough. And I guess maybe that's what draws me to the idea of a medieval life. Not the hardships, not the struggles, but the way they had to live with intention. Everything was connected to the land, to the people around you. You couldn't escape into distractions like we do today. It wasn't about having more. It was about living with what you had and finding meaning in that. I think in some ways it's why I sometimes find myself enjoying the quiet, simple moments in life now, the things that remind me of that slower, more intentional way of living. When I'm playing Minecraft like this, for example, I feel like I'm building something that's real, even though it's just blocks on a screen. Each piece fits together. It's a quiet reminder of what it might have been like to live in a world where what you created mattered in a way that felt very personal. I think there's a part of all of us that longs for that in some way. The simplicity, the connection, the meaning in every action. Even though I know medieval life was hard, I can't help but wonder if people found a kind of peace in their simplicity, even in their struggles. A peace that comes from knowing that no matter how hard things get, you can always count on the sun rising and the seasons changing. And when you work hard, you see the results of that work with your own eyes. So maybe that's why I think about it sometimes. Maybe it's because I feel that same longing for a life that isn't filled with distractions, that's grounded in the real world, the world we touch and feel. A life where every moment is a little more intentional, where every action has meaning, even when it's hard. I don't think I'll ever live that medieval life, but I think in some way I carry it with me in the way I choose to live today, in the moments I take to slow down, in the work I do with my hands, in the way I try to find meaning in the little things. Thanks for sitting here with me while I reflect on all of this. It's funny how thinking about the past can help us appreciate the present. I'll keep building around here for a bit, letting these thoughts settle, and maybe, just maybe, I'll keep carrying that simplicity with me